Hello and welcome to another edition of Shields Up. A little something different today. And let me re-edit that. Okay, so there we go. That's changed. Let's share this out as well. Over on the one, the old VX. And then put it in our Discord. Okay, so, well, you know what? We do need, I wasn't going to line this up. Let's see. Let's pop out the chat. Bring it over here. And let's. Okay, so let's see what that's in the chat. Okay, so. Blender. Okay, so I do have a video that I'm using to help me do some stuff on this. But you know what? I'll put the thing in the chat, and actually I gotta put something else in the chat too. We gotta pin our pin message. Okay. There we go. So I think we're ready to go. So I'm slowly rigging this. I just got on to the hands, got two of the fingers done. Now he's not showing how to do the fingers. He said basically how you could do them, but he's not going in depth on the thing that he's doing for fingers. So I'm just taking what he said and using it. Hopefully it will be good enough. So we will shift E. R. Ooh. Okay, so we're gonna, right now we have it see-through, so I'm going to make it unsee-through, and then we're gonna I hate it when you can't, you know, suddenly you can't zoom in. Okay, I think that is actually good. There we go. Inside the Canadian Shield's hand, instructing his fingers. Okay, so that looks like it. There we go. 2 fingers to go. Well, 1 finger and a thumb. Thumb, thumb, bitty, thumb, 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 thumb. Thumpity, thump, 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 thumpity, thump, thump, thump. Shift D. That's not bad. Bad at all. That finger was actually fast. Keep upset. Okay. I think I got it all done. That's just crazy, crazy, crazy. You know what? I don't think so because I think yeah, This might end up going to that one. I'm not sure. Okay, so now we're gonna have to listen to the video a little bit. You might hear it through my mic since I don't have earphones on.
So make sure also with the front view that looks okay. And what we have here is the flag. We look over here on the phone property. Let's just call this one over here upper arm.
Okay, so he's renaming everything. So this is to be renamed upper arm, which I think this will be probably lower arm. I'll change it if it isn't. And then probably hand.
And this is going to be very, very important. Dot, capital L. Now, it's very important that is
Okay, so now what we'll do, underscore arm dot capital L, as he said. And I guess we'll do the same here. Underscore and dot capital L.
a capital. If you do small letter L, it won't work. If you do comma L, if you do underscore L, it won't work. It has to be dot, the period on the keyboard, capital L. Now, this might be to your right, as you can see the screen, but it's actually the left side of the character. That's why we're doing dot L. Make sure you don't get that confused. A lot of people, when they're beginners, kind of get that mixed up. I'm going to also select the clavicle and put a dot capital L next to it. Then I'm going to select.
Okay, so he said to do the same thing with the clavicle. Dot capital L.
Lower arm, and I'm going to go lower arm, and then dot capital L. It doesn't really matter what you name these phones, but the dot capital L is super, super important. We're then going to go and select the hand, and let's call it hand dot capital L. Okay, now all of these have the extension dot capital L, and later on you can mirror it over automatically, and it'll automatically name it appropriately like that. And let's call it hand dot capital L. Okay, now all of these have the extension.
Dot capital L. Thumb one dot capital L. Thumb two dot L. um, 3 dot capital L, middle 1 dot capital L, middle 2 dot capital L, three dot capital L. Now I guess my other problem is I don't know what all the other fingers. I don't know what all the fingers are. What finger is what? And okay. Index is okay. Index 1 dot no. Index 2 dot capital L. Index 3 dot capital L. Ring 1 dot L. Rick ring. Ring 2 L. Ring 3 dot capital L. Pinky 1 dot capital L. Pinky 2 dot capital L. Pinky 3 dot capital L. Okay, so everything is renamed on that hand. So let's go back to the video that we were
tension.L. And later on, you can mirror it over automatically, and it will automatically name it appropriately with the dot capital R. We'll get to that in a little while. So let's quickly go into pose mode, and I'll show you. At this point, if we wanted to animate it later on, we'd have to go through each bone and work our way down the chain. Okay? And that's not something we want to do. We want to work a little bit more efficiently. So let's set up a simple IK. So we're going to go back to edit mode, and we're going to select this knob over here behind the hand. And then at front view, we can go E to extrude and Z, extrude it up to Z. Then we're going to select this bone, and we're going to go Alt P. So it's going to be a control button. We want it to be We'll get to that in a little while. So let's quickly go into pose mode, and I'll show you something. At this point, if we wanted to animate this later on, we'd have to go through each bone and work our way down the chain. Okay? And that's not something we want to do. We want to work a little bit more efficiently. So let's set up a simple IK. So we're going to go back to edit mode, and we're going to select this knob over here behind the hand. And in the front view, we can go E to extrude and Z, and extrude it up to Z. Then we're going to select this bone, and we'll go Alt P.
Oh, P. Yeah, it's one of the hand.
Point, if we wanted to animate this later on, we'd have to go through each bone and work our way down the chain. Okay? And that's not something we want to do. We want to work a little bit more efficiently. So let's set up a simple IK. So we're going to go back to edit mode, and we're going to select this knob over here behind the hand. And in the front view, we can go E to extrude and Z, and extrude it up to Z. Then we're going to select this bone, and we'll go Alt P. So it's going to be a control button. We want it to be separate. Then we're going to go disconnect button.
Oh, P. This bone.
And then we're going to go Alt P, and we're going to go clear parent. In relationship to the bones.
Oh, P.
And then we're going to take this bone over here, the hand bone. I'm going to hold in Shift and select that IK bone, and go Control P, and go Keep Offset.
Okay, so we just did that.
Okay? So now if we go into pose mode, we can select this bone here and go G to move it, R to rotate it. But the problem here, even though that is controlling our hand bone, it's not controlling the rest of the arm. What we're going to do is we're going to select this IK, holding in Shift to select the lower arm bone. Then if you go Control, Shift, and C, or Command, Shift, and C, you're going to go here and select Inverse Chromatic. Now this bone has power over this bone here. So let's select this lower arm bone. Let's go over to our object constraint. is we're going to select this IK, holding and shift, we'll select the lower arm button. Then if you go Control, Shift, and C, or Command, Shift, and C, you're going to go here and select Inverse Kinematic.
Okay. Control Shift C. You did say Control Shift C, right?
Is we're going to select this IK, holding and shift, we'll select the lower arm button. Then if you go Control, Shift, and C, or Command, Shift, and C, you're going to go here and select Inverse Kinematic.
Okay, so it's not bringing up the menu it's supposed to bring up. But then again, maybe I should be in the code. Control Shift C. Inverse schematics.
Now this one has power over this button here. So let's select this lower arm button. Let's go over is we're going to select this IK, holding and shift, we'll select the lower arm button. Then if you go Control, Shift, and C, or Command, Shift, and C, you're going to go here and select Inverse Kinematic. Now this button has power over this button here. So let's select this lower arm button. Let's go over to our object constraint. Sorry, I meant to set the bone constraint property.
Okay. Okay, so
Is we're going to select this IK, holding and shift.
going over this and over it.
Then if you go Control, Shift, and C, or Command, Shift, and C, you're going to go here and select Inverse Kinematic. Now this one has power over this button here. So let's select this lower arm button. Let's go over to our object constraint. Sorry, I meant to say the bone constraint property. And now we want to go and increase the chain length. So now if we go 1, it increases to just 1 bone. If we move it up the chain, this now has control 2 bones down the chain, just this bone. And if you went to 3, you just want and so on, up the hierarchy. But what we're going to do is now select that control bone, G to move it, and you can now see this is what we have. It's controlling those 2 bones and the hand. Now, by the way, if you move anything in pose mode, all you have to do is go A to select everything, and then Alt-G to reset anything you've moved, and Alt-R and to reset anything you've rotated, or Alt-S to scale everything. Okay, the main thing is that in pose edit mode, and when we move something, that's a bit more.
Okay, so I think I'm supposed to put chain length 1. I'm gonna go back there for a sec.
Has control 2 bones down the chain, just this bone. And if you went to 3, you just want and so on, up the hierarchy. But what we're going to do is now select that control bone, G to move it, and you can now see this is what we have. It's controlling those two bones and the hand. Now, by the way, if you move anything in pose mode, all you have to do is go A to select everything.
Okay,
and
so
then
there,
Alt G
I think
to
that's
reset
done.
anything you've moved, and Alt R to reset anything you've rotated, or Alt S if you scale everything. Okay, the main thing is that in pose edit mode, and when we move something, that's a bit more permanent. So now we have an IK here, right? The thing is as well, just to go back to pose mode, if we were to actually select our chest here and rotate it, you can see that it goes nowhere. If we selected the main button here and then G to move it in pose mode, it's even worse. His hand's just going to be floating there. So let's go back to edit mode. Let's select that IK button and hold it and shift, select the chest, then go Control P and then go keep offset. Now,
Okay, so. Control P, offset. Okay, so there we go.
back in pose mode, you can see if you grab the chest and rotate it, now that is a lot more appropriate. You actually move the hand, again select the chest and move it, and that'll still move. So press A to select everything, Alt G, Alt R, and set those transforms back. So this is a little bit complicated maybe if you're a beginner, but remember, we can actually parent all this over to the other side when we're done. So it's not too big of a deal. So now we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're just going to be doing it now with the leg, which is pretty much just as simple, and then we'll go on to parent it all over. So now that we're in edit mode, what we're going to do is we're going to actually select our hip bone here in the front orthographic view in edit mode. We're going to go Shift D to duplicate and move over. Then we're going to select the top pointed part and point it down, remember? Because this is actually the bit that's hidden where it's hidden. And instead of pointing it down like that, just select the whole bone and you go R to rotate it. Or before you even rotate it, let's just go into our right orthographic view. Let's just straighten it out a little bit. And then bring that up down. Okay, just so it doesn't twist as much. Now this is going to be out of the bone.
Okay, so let's see. So now we're doing legs. It's leg day. Or leg time. So Shift D, so we duplicate it. And G and X. Okay, so
Okay, so we're going to put the top bit here, and then right click the view, we're going to get a little bit more in the middle. Then we're going to select the bottom now. Right?
okay, so okay, now it's probably just gonna tell me to lengthen this bone here.
And I'm going to go G and bring that down to E.
Hey, Alpha
Right,
Proto,
yep.
how are you? So yeah, as I figured, it was telling me to bring that down to the knee. Yes, as you can see, I am rigging up Canadian Shield. I'm gonna bring that down to there, actually. And now it's probably just going to tell me to extrude another one down to the foot. The first link there, of course, is letting people know what video I'm using to help me rig. I'm not sure whether you can hear it through my mic or not. Um, when I'm playing it.
I'm just gonna bring it more forward. And you don't want it more back or too much in the middle. You want it a little bit more forward, so it's kind of like the V, a little bit of bend, a delta.
Okay, so it's telling me make sure my thing is a little bit closer to the front, which it is. It's about where it should be from what I get. So,
And then you're going to go E, and you can extrude that knob down to where the ankle is, and then go to the front view, and then go G and make sure to match that up, like so. You can see these bones are a little bit twisted, so if you actually select bone, and you go Control R, and actually rotate it. If you just went R by itself, it would happen. So go Control R, and just rotate, just straighten down a little bit. You can do the exact same thing with this button. Control R, and just rotate it a little bit. Now it's just a little bit neater.
well, that's kind of light. Now, I did one earlier today that actually turned out not too bad, but this is a little bit better one, it seems. Definitely. Okay, so that looks all right. Okay. Now I'm gonna see whether he says anything about the feet, because if not, I'm gonna add them in.
Like so. So now let's take this bone at the top. I might move it down just a little bit more. Let's select the top bone, and let's call that leg, or maybe even upper leg, dot capital L. Dot capital L.
Okay, so I'm not sure whether he's gonna do anything with the feet, but he's saying about renaming stuff. upper under slash leg dot L lower under slash leg dot L I do this enough, I could actually become somewhat proficient in this. It's not too hard.
That's really important. Then select the lower leg and then lower leg dot capital L. Okay? And then select the bottom nut here. And let's just make it look down even a bit more where the ankle would be. That's not really the ankle. Then go E to extrude. And usually I would make a two-part foot like this. But what I'm going to do here, just for simplicity's sake, it's just this bone that we've extruded. Let's just move that out, and that'll be our foot. Okay? So this one here, I'm just going to select as well and go Control R. Just rotate it, just straighten it out. Just a little bit. And let's name that.
Okay, so he's just doing one this time, but he says normally he does two. So E. Foot one dot L foot two dot L.
Foot dot capital L. Now we have all of these names. But let's also select that back and middle knob here. Let's go E, extrude, and Y, and extrude one out of Y. And I'm also going to just go.
Are you gonna make him do Fortnite dances? I don't know. Okay, so he and hello Joshua. Hey Mike. Okay, that might be there. I think that's good. Okay, so that's probably going to be something similar to what we did earlier, but
Control R of that one, just rotate it back a little bit. This is going to be our IK. So let's just come here and call that foot underscore IK dot capital L. That's going to be our control. Just like this one up here, it can be our, well, we haven't actually named the hand bone here, right? Let's make sure to do that. Let's just call that hand underscore IK dot capital L.
yeah, I am. The first link that you see there is a video that I'm watching. I did one earlier with something that it wasn't quite as detailed as this. Okay, so what? control L. And control L. Okay, so
You don't have to pull it IK, it just helps to remember. But the dot capital L is always really important. So now we have our two IK bones here. With the one down here, let's go Alt P to disconnect the bone, and Alt P to clear that tear.
okay, so we now need to come down. Alt P disconnect bone. Alt P clear parent.
We don't want it to have any relationship to the bones here. And we also want to take the bone here at the top, the upper leg bone, and holding in shift after selecting that one, click on the hip, Control E and go, and then go make turn to keep offset. Also,
Okay, yeah, that's something I thought he'd want me to do. Okay. Now he's probably gonna do something with that thing at the back now. She keeps going away from.
I'm going to select this IK bone down here, holding in shift, select the main control bone afterwards, go Control P and go keep offset.
Okay, so he wants. Okay, so there we go. Do.
Now if we go to our pose mode, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to select our IK bone, holding in shift afterwards, select the lower leg bone and go Control Shift C or Command Shift C and go to English Dramatic. And now this bone here has dominance over this bone. So now let's select that yellow bone, go to the bone constraint.
Okay. Need to go into pose mode, he said. So that, select that, and Control Shift C. There's kinetics, just like that. Bone strength. And I think he's going to tell me to put that at 1.
And let's make it 2 on the chain link, so that takes 2 bones up the chain. So if we now grab this,
Okay, did he say
G
1?
pose mode, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select our IK bone, holding in shift afterwards, select the lower leg bone and go Control Shift C or Command Shift C and go English Dramatic. And now this bone here has dominance over this bone. So now let's select that yellow bone, go to the bone constraints, and let's make it 2 on the chain link.
Okay, 2. So when are we getting a Canadian Shield video game? I don't know. Probably not as soon as you would like. Okay, so I moved that up to 2 now.
So it takes 2 bones up the chain. So if we now grab this in pose mode and go G, you can see those 2 bones go along. You can also just go back to edit mode quickly and then select our foot bone, holding in shift, select our icon, control P and go make parent, keep offset. Our little character.
Okay, so there's back to edit mode. Control P, keep offset. And definitely not as soon as I would like, Joshua.
Coming along. Alright, grab the hip, you can test it, grab the control, rotate the chest, mess around with the IK here on your arm. All sorts of really cool stuff. But what we're going to do now is we're going to keep adding some target funds so you can control the rotation of the knee. Otherwise, it's really hard to control it. You can do the same thing with your arms, but we'll just do it with the knee here because oftentimes it's very important when you're working with the legs. So let's just go back to that five. We're just going to select this number here. We're going to go E to extrude and then Y. Then it's extrude forward on Y. Then with that bone, we're going to go Alt P and we're going to go disconnect bone and Alt.
Okay, so extrude one. Alt P, disconnect. Alt P, clear. Then I forget what.
P for your parent. And then go G, Y, and forward about that much. And
Okay, then he says G and Y and move ahead a bit.
let's go to our bone constraint or bone property. So let's just call that leg target dot capital L.
Okay, and that is called, as he said, leg target dot capital L.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go into our post mode. We're going to select this bone over here that we added the constraint to. Let's go over to the bone constraint and let's get a pull target, click on this little eyedropper, and then select our armature. And that
Okay, so says go into pose mode. Select that. Pull target and then supposed to do that.
tells the system we're using. And then let's find that bone. So that is our leg, and we pull this leg target L, and let's click on that. Now, not only can we grab this eye tank for the bone, the
Okay.
the leg, you can also use this guy here. Now you notice that there's an issue of rotation. What we're going to do is we're going to select this bone here, and we just have to come into the full angle and make it 90. and press enter, and that should be
Okay, so pull angle 90. Okay.
correct the rotation. We can now come here and see, just gives us a lot more control over the direction of our leg. Okay, now this is a little bit of homework for you guys. You can do the exact same full target thing with the arm and put the target at the back here. The exact same way we just did that. So that's going to be a bit of homework for you guys.
Okay, so he's not doing this, but he says you can do this for the arm too. So we're going to do it right now. We need to go into edit mode. E and Y. Okay, now let's see whether we can remember everything he just said, but do it for this. Alt P, disconnect, P, G1, arm, target. L. Okay, so I got that right. Now I don't know which one bone that I should be connecting it to. I think we'd have to go into pose now. Probably this one? The one that's yellowed? Let's see whether he says. Come back to
With leg target L, and let's click that. Now, not only can we grab this eye tank for the bone, the leg, we can also use this back here. Now you notice that there's an issue of rotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this bone here, and we just have to come here to the full angle and make it 90, and press enter, and that should be correct, the rotation. So we can now come here and see. Just gives us a lot more control over the direction of our leg. Okay? Now, this is a little bit of homework for you guys. You can do the exact same full target thing with the arm and put the target at the back here. The exact same way we just did that. So that's going to be a bit of homework for you guys. The exact same way we just did that. Like, so you call it leg target, and you go in there and add a target with this lower arm here. Okay, so now you kind of get what we're going to do. I'm going to press A to select everything, Alt G, Alt R.
Okay, I'm gonna redo that target thing.
We're working for legs. So let's just quickly go back to that one. We're just going to select this number over here. We're going to go E to extrude, and then Y. Then it's extrude forward on Y. Then with that bone, we're going to go Alt P, we're going to go disconnect bone, and Alt P for your parent. And then go G, Y, and forward about that much. And let's go to our bone constraint, or bone property. Let's just call that leg target dot capital L. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into our pose mode. We're going to select this bone over here because we added the constraint. Let's go over to bone constraint and let's get a full target. Look at this little eyedropper.
Okay, so. target and then phone, I guess is right. On target, and I guess we want that 90 degrees as well. Okay, so that is done. I think we can go back to edit mode. Okay,
And then select our armature. So that tells the system we're using. And then let's find that bone. So that is our leg. And we pull this leg target.l, and let's click on that. Now, not only can we grab this icon for the bone, the leg, we can also use this guy here. Now you notice that there's an issue of rotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this bone here, and we should have to come into full angle and make it 90, and press enter, and that should be correct for rotation. So we can now come here and see. This gives us a lot more control over the direction of our leg. Okay. Now, this is a little bit of homework for you guys. You can do the exact same full target thing with the arm and put the target at the back here. The exact same way we just did that. So that's going to be a bit of homework for you guys. The exact same way we just did that with the leg. So you call it leg target, going there and added a target with this lower arm here. Okay, so now you kind of get what we're going for. I'm going to press A to select everything, Alt G, Alt R, and Alt S, and make sure that everything is named appropriately. Everything has a .L extension. One thing we would quickly do, though, before we go on to parenting or mirroring all of this over to the other side, is we're going to tell Blender what objects we want to affect the mesh and what objects we don't. So you can see all of these bones in there. They're our deformation bones. And if I was working professionally in the industry, like I used to, I would call the DEF underscore and get a name. And that's just the industry standard for like deformation bones. And anything that is a control bone would be CON underscore. And that would be a control bone. And usually your control bones don't have any sort of deformation effect on your geometry. So that sounds complicated. Essentially, you just don't want any of these bones that are not inside of the mesh here or not doing anything except controlling the deformation bone to not have deformation. So the simple way to do that is to select the bones, like, for example, the main bone here, go to the bone properties, and then just go and untick the form. Okay? So any of the IK bones, like the one here in the foot, untick the form. The one.
okay, so. Let's see. And click the form.
Not inside of the mesh here or not doing anything except controlling the deformation bone to not have deformation. So the simple way to do that is to select the bones, like, for example, the main bone here, go to the bone properties, and then just go and untick the form. Okay? So any of the IK bones, like the one here on the foot, untick the form. The one here on the hand, untick the form. And then the full target is also just a control, so we can untick the form path.
Okay, so. Like that. And like that. Okay, well, we're almost done.
Well, all of the bones that are inside of the mesh here, they need to be deformed because once we parent this, we want our mesh here to automatically add these vertex groups. Now, I'm just going to go ahead. In fact, while we're here quickly, just make sure you're in pose mode and select the character mesh. Just come into the drop down if you use the same character that I'm using come to the drop down here under the vertex groups, under the object data property, and just go delete all groups, because this is just some of this junk that came in from the old group and we imported this from Xmode, right? We just want a blank slate there. So we're going to be anything here that is going to be parented, any of these bones that are going to have an effect on this mesh here will have a bunch of vertex groups that tell these bones what bits of the geometry to use. But we're going to do that automatically. So if that sounds complicated, don't worry. Blender is going to do that pretty good right out of the box. Back into our rig, let's go into that mode. And at this point, we can now go in our front graphic view and select all of the bones that have the dot couple extension. So all of these bones here, you can hold and shift, click on any ones that aren't selected. And in our front graphic, just so we can see it nicely, now go to armature and then go to 7.
Okay, so make sure I got everything. Go to armature and symmetry. And let's see.
Symmetrize. And now every single bone should be symmetrized like this. We can now go into pose mode and just test this. You can see here, okay, that's all looking cool. This one works, this one works here. Really cool stuff. Now, if you grab the main control, you can see that these target bones are left behind. So let's just go into edit mode. Just hold and shift and select both of these target bones. And while you're still holding and shift, select the main control, Control P, and then go keep offset. Now back in pose mode, kind of see if we grab a hip here, okay, everything stays there. You can control our head, rotate our chest, that's fine.
So what was that?
Now, if you grab the main control, you can see that these target bones are left behind. So let's just quickly go into edit mode. Just hold and
Okay, so
shift and select both of these target bones. And while you're still holding and shift, select the main control, Control P, and then go keep offset.
shift P. Alt P. Shift P. What did he say? Oh, jeez. Control P. Okay, there we go. Then is that done?
Now back in pose mode, you can kind of see we grab a hip here, okay, everything stays there. You can control our head, rotate our chest, that's fine. Our hip, once again, keep in mind, it's not usually how you do a hip. For simplicity's sake, that's how we're doing it. We can grab the foot, we can rotate it, we can move it. Okay, everything.
And you're saying this no.
Good here. So now let's go into object mode. Let's onto our X-ray total. You don't need to do that. our X-ray measurement, and that's now selected for mesh. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hold in shift and select our armature in object mode.
Okay, we're going into object mode. I might have to adjust this later. Because that looks like that hand is. You would think it'd be the same, but it looks a bit off. But okay, and then I think it's, I forget what it is.
If you now go Control P, you're going to go now to with automatic weight. And just in a second, you can now select your armature or your character under the object data properties. You're going to see all of these bones that we named now are automatically given access to certain parts of this character mesh. You can now actually select our armature and then go to pose mode. And now, let's just turn X-ray on quickly. Now you can select your control mode. Look at that. Now you can see things are a little bit messy here. Get into that in a while, in a little bit, some of these deformations. But overall, Blender did a really good job at doing this kind of right out of the box. Right? You can see here, look at that. So congratulations if you've made it.
Okay, so it's doing something at the moment. Okay. So we go to pose mode. Actually, I'll just oh, there we go. So we take this one. We take. Oh, we should be on move, not. Okay, why is my thing not moving? Okay. Okay. Did I? Okay, this is whacked. What the hell happened? And if I do anything, I can't do anything to undo it because then it takes away the. Okay, I gotta see if anybody else said something about it. Okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong for to mess up the mesh like that. Um, Let's see. Takes so long to do it, yet it'll undo it like a second. So if it doesn't work this time, well, I'm not giving up, obviously, but giving up for here and now. Um, and just gotta figure out what I've done wrong. Because this is not good. Let's see. I want to save. Canadian Steel PP. Yeah, what this channel called? PIXX. Oh, PI. Actually, in fact, you know what? Let's not save it like that. Control that. Save as. PIXX. Oh, rig. Okay, so I don't want to. So we'll just go new channel. Take that out. Delete. File. Open. Don't save. Okay, so here's what I did earlier. Not quite as detailed. Uh, okay, there we go. but I don't quite have all. I could add some of the things that I learned. That one. Unfortunately, this one has a flaw right here. When I try and move this one, it really. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so something's wrong with that foot. That it's not moving with the rest of it. Which is something I just discovered. But most of this can move. Rotate. Okay, so this one completely got messed up by doing that painting stuff. But it's a nice first try. Hopefully by this time next week, I will have it. I was hoping to have it done for tomorrow because I was going to get another one printed up, um, but a different pose. So it is what it is. But I think I'm going to end here tonight because I got accomplished, sort of got accomplished what I wanted to. Um, we are still at $395. 46 days to go on Canadian Shield 3. So who knows what's going on there. Right now it's seeming like Fun Like Comic isn't any better than Indiegogo. But then again, because I'm doing all the work like I have on all the other platforms, and their platform is not doing nothing for me. I'm not near the top. I'm not in a feature pick because I haven't had anybody, tip them. Uh, you even have to hit, ever since I've been in it, you had to hit discover more for the recently added. I don't know. I don't think it matters which platform. I should look at the tutorial stuff, see whether there's anything I can do to bump my sales. Anyways, thanks everybody for stopping by. Sorry for complaining. Hopefully you like the stream tonight. So we'll catch you all tomorrow night. Bye for now. God bless. Have a great, wonderful day. Love you all.